Today I have got 10 addictive fragrances for you. I just released a cheapies addictive video. This is the high-end addictive video. Those were less than 50. These are all going to cost you more than 50. I've got 5 designers, I've got 5 niche, and these are cream of the crop, the fragrances that I go back to over and over and over again because they just smell so very good. I cannot get enough. So this is going to be probably one of the best lists on my channel as far as stuff that I personally love that I also think that you're going to love. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. I've got videos coming out every day or two. Also remember to give a click to the like button if you like the video. Let's go ahead and dive into this very addictive list of fragrances. Okay, here we go. This one, these are in no particular order. I just grabbed them off the shelf and set them down here. This one I think is like the unsung hero of the Spice Bomb line. You don't hear a lot about it, but I'm telling you, this stuff is next level. It is Spice Bomb Night Vision EDP. And so this is of course, spicy fragrance, but it's got this sweet, tart, fruity opening that reminds me a little bit of Azzaro Wanted by Night, another of my favorite fragrances. And then it's got this pistachio note as well. Think like pistachio ice cream or pistachio dessert. And so you start with this quite sweet, fruity, tart, gourmand opening. But then about an hour or two later, the powerful spiciness of this fragrance sneaks up on you. This fragrance, first of all, is like a 14-hour fragrance on me. It's one of my longest lasting designers, period. It is beast mode. And the spiciness in this one comes out in the second, third, fourth hour and beyond. And it's, in my opinion, one of the spiciest Spice Bomb fragrances. I love this stuff. It is awesome. If you like the original Spice Bomb Extreme, if you like that kind of DNA, you should check this stuff out. My bottle is already about, I don't know, over a third of the way gone, and I've only got a tiny bottle. So that's a problem because I'm addicted, I guess. All right, next up. I just mentioned this fragrance, and man, it deserves to be in this video. This stuff is liquid gold. I'm talking about Azzaro's Wanted by Night. This is a spiced tobacco fragrance. It is a vanilla tobacco fragrance, but in the opening, you have this mandarin, you have lemon, you have what Azzaro just calls fruity notes, so kind of a tart fruitiness, and then you go down into some incense, you've got some cedar wood, you've got, of course, tobacco and vanilla and patchouli. This is, and leather as well. So this is a fragrance with a lot going on, but you can hear from the notes that I just mentioned what kind of fragrance this is. It is, in my opinion, the level of the art and the level of the blending. This is like a niche level fragrance. Wanted by Night from Azzaro. It is awesome stuff. Used to be super cheap. It's not anymore. All right, this next one is still, I would consider to be super cheap. As a matter of fact, I kind of broke my rule because you can sometimes get this for under $50. This stuff is amazing. It is my favorite leather fragrance and potentially my favorite fragrance, period. One of the very few that I have a backup bottle of. I love this stuff. Philip Plein, No Limits. It's in, of course, this hideous bottle. But this is a spicy leather fragrance with gourmand sweetness. There is some chocolate, there's some vanilla, there is a couple different kinds of pepper. I think there's maybe black pepper, cinnamon, cardamom. So a lot of spiciness, but the leather note is this sort of naturalistic, soft, suede, even I would say slightly animalic kind of leather, but mixing with those gourmand sweet notes and those spices, it's like nothing else that I own. It is absolutely phenomenal. I love the super fresh version as well, which is kind of a warmer weather take on this DNA, although it's still rich and sweet and leathery, so I wouldn't wear it in 90 degrees. But this one and super fresh, they are both bangers. This one performs like a monster, 12 plus hours easily. Super Fresh is more in that, 7-hour range. Next, still probably my favorite Iris fragrance, my most complimented fragrance of last year. I'm talking about Valentino Wo Intense. This stuff is amazing. It's iris and vanilla and leather. There's also some woodiness. There's a bit of spice. It's not too different from something like Givenchy Gentleman EDP or Dior Homme Intense, but each of those have their distinctives. This one has the powerful lipsticky iris from Dior Homme Intense, and it's got that kind of dark, sweet allure of something like Gentleman EDP. I think it's the perfect middle ground between the two, and that's why it's my favorite. I love this stuff. Of course, Valentino Wo Intense. Final designer in the list. This is my favorite blue fragrance. At different times, it's been in my top 3 of all time. It's still in the top 10 for sure. This stuff is amazing. I'm talking about Yves Saint Laurent Y EDP. Still my favorite Y fragrance, and I doubt they'll ever make anything that will bump this one out of top place. I love the sweet apple ginger opening. A lot of sweetness in the opening, but then you've got this aromatic heart with a 3-dimensional kind of aromatic green sage, and there's some juniper. There's this there's just a lot of texture and, again, a sort of 3-dimensional quality of the aromatic heart. Of course, you've got some ambroxan or amber woods. You've got that kind of blue fragrance DNA wrapping it all together. It is such a fantastic fragrance. And even though I've got a lot of dupes of this now, none of them match the artistry and the quality of the original. Of course, Y EDP, one of the all-time greats. All right, now we're going to move into 5 niche that I would put at this level of just addictive because they are so very good. And I think we'll start with this one right here. It's one that everybody knows about, and there's a reason that it's so popular. This is Intense Cedrat Boisé. I would put the original in this list as well. The Intense has just got a little more weight. There's a very light touch of oud. There's a little bit of a stronger leather and woods, but this is just a fruity citrus explosion. There's citruses, there's black currant, there's this tart, very appealing fruitiness in the fragrance, but then you've also got some woods, you've got some leather, you've got, again, that touch of oud, giving it a lot of weight and a lot of substance. It's in the family of something like Creed Aventus, although it doesn't smell like Creed Aventus, and it is one that, again, you can see I've put a big dent in this bottle because I love wearing it. I love the original as well, Manera Intense Cedrat Boisé, and you can often get Manera, I think, high-quality niche house, usually for under $100 for their big bottles, 120 ml. Next, we will go with this one right here. This is one of the most impressive fragrances in my entire collection. It is niche perfumery at its finest. I'm talking about Nishan Fan Your Flames. This stuff is a work of art. The notes we have here: rum, we've got coconut, tobacco, tonka, oak moss, and Chinese cedarwood. And that rum coconut in the opening kind of fools you at first. You think, oh, this is sort of like a tropical summer fragrance. But then you get nailed with that tobacco. You get the weight of I would say, slightly smoky tobacco, a textured tobacco, very high quality, mixing with the booziness from that rum and that coconut as well. It gives you this masterfully blended, very textured, kind of 3-dimensional, super impressive fragrance. Nishan does impressive artistic fragrances so very well. So again, fan your flames. You can't beat this stuff. A good bit of sweetness in this one, but also it's quite dark and quite weighty with some of those heavier notes that I mentioned. Super impressive stuff right there. Next, I would say probably still the most impressive fragrance in my collection, and I love this stuff, Extrait de Parfum Concentration. So very good. I wore it, I think, yesterday or the day before. Nascimento Pardon. This is a magnolia flower fragrance, magnolia and honey. also with some vanilla and some chocolate and some oud. And those notes together, it's hard to picture what exactly it smells like, and I would say it's impossible to picture what it feels like. This fragrance is luxury, it is liquid art, it performs for you while you wear it. I don't know how else to say it. If you are a fragrance nerd like I am, then you will understand what I mean. The way that it develops, that sweet floral opening, but almost like a syrupy floral opening, and then it begins to shift into the darker dark chocolate note and the oud, which really is a star of this show. It's a very naturalistic kind of oud, not funky or anything like that. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's one that I wear mostly on special occasions, but sometimes I'll break it out just because I can, which is what I did yesterday. Again, Nasamato Pardon, there's nothing like it in my opinion. All right, another Manera. This one was a new release, I think, last year, and I bought it as soon as it was available. I paid way too much for it, just because if I would have waited 6 months, I could have got it for half price. I'm talking about Intense Red Tobacco. The original Red Tobacco is iconic, it's beloved, and there's a very good reason. You know, powerful, spicy, loud, oudy, ashy, dark tobacco fragrance. Well, this one has got a lot of similarities to Red Tobacco, but there is a powerful leather note in this fragrance. They could have called this Red Tobacco Leather, and that probably would have been more appropriate. It's not necessarily more intense than the original Red Tobacco, but it is more refined. It's smoother. It is definitely, it's not as harsh or abrasive. That leather is sort of folded over the entire fragrance, and you've still got, of course, a touch of oud. You've got powerful, powerful spiciness and a very rich, robust tobacco. Little less of that sort of ashy or smoky vibe from the original. But again, this fragrance is a work of art. I think of the Maneras that I've tried, probably the most impressive as far as the artistry of this fragrance. Again, Manera Intense Red Tobacco, such an impressive fragrance. But get the original Red Tobacco, and I would say exactly the same thing about that. Finally, this one, I only like it because the bottle's amazing. This is 1270 Extreme. Of course, I'm joking, but I do love the bottle. It's very impressive, the sort of engraved gilding and this very cool, you know, real wood cap, probably like a walnut wood or something like that. But 1270 Extreme, EDP from Fraan, which is a liquor company. And so this is a woody, boozy, fruity fragrance. And you do have in the opening this very interesting mix of like a dry woods and a dark liquor note. I don't know if it's a whiskey or what the alcohol note is. And then you have this fruitiness, like a dense, almost like a fruit, like a dried fruit cake kind of fruitiness. And whenever you mix them together, it smells like luxury. That's just the best way that I can say it. It smells opulent, it smells like wealth, and it just smells very, very good. I believe there's vanilla in this fragrance as well. It is a sweet, woody, fruity fragrance with a little bit of booziness. There's also a touch of incense or smoke in this one. So it's obviously, there's a lot going on. It's a niche fragrance that really lives up to the expectation of niche perfumery. 1270 Extreme from Fraan. I would love to hear in the comments, what are some of your most addictive fragrances? Designer, niche, even clones. I'd love to hear about that. Remember to give a click to the like button if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.